Hey guys, this is Haley, and this is Extension in the Kitchen. Welcome back to the show. It's a new year. We are in January of 2024. I can't believe it. And guess what? February is Heart Health Month. And so this may be a new year, but I'm sharing the same message. I want you to eat more nutritious foods so that you can feel better, so that you can reduce risk of chronic disease, and we can eat healthy. And enjoy nutritious foods. Nutritious foods do not have to taste bad, guys, and that's what we are here to prove on this show. So I want to kick off by just sharing a little bit of nutrition. Some of this you may have seen before, you may have heard before, but I cannot stress it enough. The foods that we need to be eating throughout the day, and this is all of us that needs to be eating this way, from our young children to our senior citizens. So I want to start off by sharing just a couple of resources that I go back to time and time again in my community programming, whether it's nutrition, whether it's cooking classes, whether it's cooking demonstrations out in the community. I always go back to these two resources to teach people how to live and eat healthier lifestyles. So the first one is My Plate, and so you can go and check out choosemyplate.gov for more resources and more information after watching this show. But My Plate is just a great visual to break down what we should be eating throughout the day. And so it tells us that there are 5 food groups. We've got fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy. And unless you have a very specific, maybe digestive issue or a reason that the doctor says you don't need something in your diet, you should really aim to get a variety of these throughout the day. So you can look at it a couple different ways. You can either think about each meal and how you can get as much variety with each meal, with your snacks throughout the day. Or you can just think about how you're eating throughout the day in general. And at the end of the day, if you look back and think, okay, between breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, did I get a variety of all the food groups? And notice My Plate. So throughout the day, half of what you should be eating is fruits and vegetables, a variety of colors, grains, trying to get as many whole grains as possible, protein, aiming for those lean proteins, and dairy we want to keep low fat or fat free for our health, okay? So that is our visual, and so I want to show y'all how you can start to get your kids thinking about eating healthier. Honestly, we're all big kids, so it helps me to do this as well. But you might just play with some foods and try to get a variety. I've got some fake foods here, and I grabbed some of my favorite things that I eat on a regular basis to help me get all my different food groups in. So I'm going to start with protein, because protein is so important, and actually it's one of the things, if you focus on changing your protein to healthier proteins, it can make the biggest difference in your diet. This right here is one of my favorite proteins. I probably have an egg white every single day if I can, because it is such an easy thing to cook. And it's nutritious and delicious. And there's so many different things you can use eggs in. So I'll put this right here on top of my protein, and we can check that off for the day. Now the next thing I'm going to grab is one of my favorite fruits, and we're going to be using this today in our recipe, bananas. I always like to have bananas in my fruit basket at home, so I'll put that right there to cover up the fruit section. All right. Now let's look at vegetables. So again, fruits and vegetables, another very important part of your diet because they're full of micronutrients, and so they help to fight disease, and they also help us to keep and maintain a healthy weight, so they're very, very important. So the first vegetable I'm going to grab to fill up my plate is a carrot. This is my child's favorite, one of his favorite vegetables for sure, and so we eat a lot of carrots. Carrots are always at my house, and they keep really well, so they stick around for a while. You don't have to worry about them going bad too quick. Grains, bread, but not just any bread. Get the whole grain bread. This is going to be the most nutritious, typically has more fiber in it. Did you know that, so in comparison to our whole grain versus our enriched grains, the whole grains are related to a smaller waistline, and so that's why we want to choose these more often. And then dairy, one of my favorite dairies ever is yogurt. Again, if you can do low fat, we're going to be using some yogurt in today's recipe, but keep yogurt on hand and be aware that when you start getting the flavors and different things, you're adding a lot more sugar. So if you can, get plain yogurts and add things to it. And so we'll show y'all how we're going to do that today. So there's one example of my plate. I'll show you another one really quick. All right, so another one of my favorite fruits, apples. They keep so great. I love apples. I snack on apple and peanut butter like it's my job. I love them. Another one of my top 3 proteins, also because they're so affordable, guys, and everything is so expensive these days. So I love to have a variety of beans in my cupboard, just a quick, easy protein source that doesn't break the bank. Cheese sticks. What a great, healthy, easy snack to have on hand, right? So these are wonderful, and that will take care of that dairy. Green beans. Growing up, my grandma had green beans at almost every meal. She grew her own green beans, processed them herself, which if you need to learn how to home can, please reach out to us for that assistance. I'm more than happy to help. And then lastly, the last grain I'm going to put on this one is my corn tortilla, because I have Mexican food every single week, and corn tortillas are a great whole grain as well. So there's just a couple of options of things that you could do throughout the day. And before we move on to our recipe, guys, because I want to make sure I'm not only showing you guys some healthy recipes and options that you can replicate at home, but I also want to show you this educational piece. That's exactly why Extension is here, is to share education in the community so that you can learn and grow and make advised decisions for yourself, right? So another source that I have shared time and time again, and I have shared it many times on this cooking show, is medinsteadofmeds.com. And there is the URL right there. You can go to this website and get lots of resources, recipes, watch videos from here as well. And this is a program that I have taught numerous times through the community. Last year, I taught nutrition programming based off of these resources many times. This year, I'm taking it a step further and doing hands-on cooking classes where we're making recipes based off the Mediterranean style of eating. And so this sheet right here just breaks down, you know, the best way to eat for a healthy lifestyle into 7 steps. Change your protein. We talked a little bit about that. So choosing those healthier protein sources, beans, legumes, lots of seafood, and some white poultry and lean meats. Swap your fats. Use olive oil. Eat more nuts, seeds, avocados. Eat lots of vegetables. Y'all will hear me talk about that all the time. You can't have too much of that. Eat more fruit. We're gonna have fruits and vegetables in our meal, in our snack today. Snack on those nuts and seeds. Such a great, healthy source of good fats. Make your grains whole and rethink your sweets. So again, a lot of what we're doing falls in line with all 7 of these steps. But if you have any questions about these programs or resources, feel free to reach out to me here at the Cooperative Extension Office, all right? So I'm gonna put this to the side because I don't know about you, but I am ready to make a recipe. And I want you to know that being healthy, again, while it doesn't have to taste bad, it doesn't have to be hard to make healthy recipes either. So I wanted to make something very, very simple for you guys today. And plus, this is something that I go to time and time again because all you need is a blender and some fruits, vegetables, some very simple things, all right? And we're gonna mix it together. So we are gonna make a smoothie bowl, and this is an extension recipe, of course. And this is gonna give us some vegetables, some fruits, whole grains, some low-fat dairy, but also there are between 25 and 30 grams of protein in this right here. So even though we don't have an actual meat source or fish or beans, about 30 grams of protein are coming from this Greek yogurt here. And then we're getting some also from the oats and from our nuts and granola. So this is going to be a high protein option as well. All right, so we're gonna start off by coming over to our blender here. Make sure it's plugged up. All right, we're good. Okay, now the first thing it says, we're gonna add in a couple handfuls of spinach. I like adding in a lot of spinach because sometimes vegetables can be a little harder for me to get in throughout the day, so this makes it a little bit easier. And spinach is a very mild green, so while it'll add lots of flavor to our smoothie, or a lot of color to our smoothie bowl, we won't really taste it in there, all right? So we've got that. We're gonna add in, I'm just gonna put in this 1/4 cup of water. So everything blends up very nicely. I don't want a lot, so I want to make sure it's nice and thick. We're gonna add in these oats. So this is a 1/4 cup of quick oats. And again, these oats are gonna be a good whole grain source. They're a great source of fiber. They're a great source of protein. So we're gonna add those in. This recipe does call for a frozen banana, but I'm gonna show you guys another way to do it because I didn't want to take the time to freeze my banana today, so I'm breaking the rules a little bit, but we're gonna throw in this whole banana like so. These are also just fun things to get kids involved in as well if you can. All right. We're gonna add in our yogurt. Again, this is a Greek yogurt. So the Greek yogurt is gonna be a thicker consistency and it's also gonna be higher in protein than just your regular yogurt, okay? So that is a full cup of plain Greek yogurt. Let me get as much in there as I can, guys. Okay. And you can add in some ice too. So I'm gonna add in some ice because I wanna make sure it's nice and cold, and plus, I didn't freeze my banana, so I'm gonna make sure I add in that ice. Let's see how this turns out. Put the top on. Oh, okay, turn it on first. And then I'm gonna put it on, let's go to puree. Let's see what that does. And this is gonna be a little bit loud, so just bear with me. So once you get it to your consistency that you like, you might like it thicker, you might like it thinner, but we're just gonna add it into our bowl. Okay, and then you get to add in your fun toppings. So I'm gonna put some blueberries in here. Okay. Gonna add in some of my granola. And I have a little bit of almond slivers as well. Okay? And then that one ran away. So you wanna make sure your toppings, they complement your smoothie. But also keep in mind those nutrition tips that we started off with at the beginning of this show, and you know, keep it within those guidelines for sure, so that we can keep it nice and healthy and delicious. So that is what we've got today, our delicious smoothie bowl. You could definitely switch up and use different fruits if you would like, different types of nuts for your topping. I always like to add peanut butter in mine as well, but it is such a fun and delicious way to get in great food groups and start off your day or end your day with a nutritious recipe. So thank you guys for joining me today. Again, if you have any questions about Cooperative Extension and our Family and Consumer Sciences program, please reach out to me and I'm happy to help. Y'all have a great day.